Hello, viewers, and welcome to the newspaper review for today, the 6th of June 2023. Cyril Aloysius is my name, and I'm saying a big thank you to you for joining me on another interesting episode of your favorite news program here. And I'm not alone, I'm with Kosi Mwobodu, and together we're going to be bringing you some interesting headlines in different newspapers across the nation. Kosi, how do you do?
I'm fine.
How do you feel today?
I feel very fine.
How have you been coping with the hike in fuel price?
You don't have to talk. It's been really hard and difficult because just coming here is the price of transportation has increased and everything. Even buying the things I normally buy at a certain rate now it has increased. So it's not really
It's not
quite
easy.
interesting. And
So have you joined the Legady's Benz group, or you're still
yeah,
on the...
I would say I have joined the Legacy's Benz people, but maybe with time.
With time you join them, right?
Because if you look at what
You can join
what
us
is
now.
happening,
It's not too late.
it's not too late. I know.
Okay, so to begin the program, we'll start first by looking at the Vanguard newspaper, where we have some interesting headlines. This particular headline on page 5 says, subsidy, NLC, TUC suspend strike. Subsidy, NLC, TUC suspend strike. Okay, that story is on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. And on page 9, this one says, Atiku versus Tinubu. Atiku versus Tinubu. I signed Nasarawa result under duress. Witness tells court. Atiku versus Tinubu. I signed Nasarawa result under duress. Witness tells court. That's on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper. On page 7 of the Vanguard, this one says, Owo attack. Owo attack. Survivors groan. Families of victims relieve sad experiences 1 year after. That's on page 7 of the Vanguard. And over now to page 9 again. This one says, counter-terrorism fight must be backed by intelligence. That's the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, saying on page 9 of the Vanguard. He says, counter-terrorism fight must be backed by intelligence. And in the world of sports on page 31, this one says, Real Madrid reserve number 9 shirt for Kane. Real Madrid reserve number 9 shirt for Kane. Okay, that's on page 31 of the Vanguard newspaper. And over now to page 9 again. This one says, SPV saga. SPV saga. Court declines to order Atiku's arrest. Fines Keyamo 10 million naira. SPV saga. Court declines to order Atiku's arrest. Fines Keyamo 10 million naira. That story is on page 9 of the Vanguard. And on page 29, this one says Presidential Tribunal. Presidential Tribunal. Obi tenders results of 8 more states in evidence. Presidential Tribunal. Obi tenders results of 8 more states in evidence. That's on page 29 of the Vanguard. On page 8 of the Vanguard, we have 10th NAS. Court stops arrest of ex-governor Yari. Court stops arrest of ex-governor Yari. That's on page 8. And lastly, in the Vanguard on page 19, this one says Nigeria's trade balance records slight decline to 927 billion. Nigeria's trade balance records slight decline to 927 billion. Okay, that's on page 19 of the Vanguard newspaper. That's the much we can take in the Vanguard. Mwobodu Kosi, please let me get your thoughts on the story here on page 9, talking about Atiku versus Tinubu. I signed Nasarawa result under duress. Witness tells court. Please react to this headline.
You know, the just concluded election which took place on 25th of February. Yeah. So following it, after the results were declared, President Tinubu was declared the winner and all that. The PDP and the Labour Party candidate, they refused. They had to file a presidential petition against them. So following it now, the petition now during the whole trial, according to this paper now, if you look at it, you see that even though the witness came out to say that he signed the result under duress. My question is, why didn't he put it in that oath of statement when after he finished, because he was the PDP coalition officer.
Okay.
You understand? And there is an oath of statement that you meant to put in everything that that happens there.
Okay.
If the result was tampered and all that, you have to put in there. But he said that he knew that this day would come. That's why he didn't kind of fill it in. But my question is, why didn't he put it as part of evidence?
So this is more like medicine after death, right?
Exactly, because if you look at it, it was Peter Obi that won in that state.
Okay.
And it was perfect. So why did he now?
Why take him so long?
Exactly. What took him so long? Why did he immediately write the whole this thing there, what he feels?
Okay.
Then why did he has to come to the court to say such things without even bringing any evidence to it? You understand? You said you were under duress. Nobody was there when it happened.
Okay.
It's just a mere words. So it's still beyond reasonable doubt.
Okay.
You understand? If you look at it, you know that I just feel that they just brought people just to without having enough evidence to it. The PDP they brought people without having enough evidence to it. So my question is, if he had been under duress, why didn't he write it on that oath of statement?
Okay. So are you trying to say that this particular statement of his doesn't hold enough?
It doesn't hold enough water
for it to
be
really
used
okay.
Against this as an evidence in court. You understand?
Okay.
It's just a mere word. So to me, I don't feel it's hold enough water for them to use it for anything.
Okay. Maybe he was scared then to speak up. You know,
he should have
the elections then
on
recorded some violence, and
yeah.
I believe you could testify to that.
Exactly.
We saw violence. And
exactly.
maybe he must have seen all of those violence and decided, okay, if I should say anything now, who knows, they might come for me and all of that. So let me just.
Is it not that do not come for him?
Maybe he has decided to make up his mind now. Maybe then, due to fear, like he said, duress, he just couldn't say what.
He even said it wasn't as if they pointed a gun at him. It wasn't. I don't know whether he even understood what it means to be under duress. He said even when that he had to write his name and sign his signature on the paper, but he was feeling this intimidation from them or something when he collected the paper, and he felt that the paper was tampered with. Okay. My own point is, it wasn't as if he was a gun was pointed at his face when it happened.
We weren't there, so we
but know. He didn't say it. He should have just said it. He didn't say that a gun was pointed at me. That's why that's why I didn't say anything or write anything on it. Okay. You understand? So I just feel this like medicine after death.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Kosi, for your thoughts on that headline. We'll look at this day newspaper now for further headlines. This one here on this day says, the boldest headline on this day says, restrained by court, NLC, TUC, reach a tentative agreement with federal government over subsidy. Restrained by court, NLC, TUC, reach tentative agreement with federal government over subsidy. All right. And another interesting headline on this day here says, Atiku's witnesses insist results not transmitted to IREV at polling unit. Atiku's witnesses insist results not transmitted to IREV at polling units. Obi tenders more documents to prove petition. Okay, you could get more details on that headline on page 10 of this day newspaper. On page 27 now, this one says, President will develop Nigeria, says Jimo Ibrahim. President will develop Nigeria, says Jimo Ibrahim. That's on page 27 of this day newspaper. And lastly, on this day for today, we have on page 10 again, Tinubu orders security agencies to share information, intelligence on counter-terrorism. Tinubu orders security agencies to share information, intelligence on counter-terrorism. Stresses need to completely eliminate insurgency in Nigeria. identifies security as top priority of his government. Okay, that story is on page 10 of this day newspaper. All right, just before we go on a short break, Kosi, please let me get your thoughts on the Borders headline here on this day, which talks about a court restraining NLC TUC as they reach a tentative agreement with federal government over subsidy.
Yeah, the demand they are making is quite an interesting one. It's quite a captivating one. But if you look at it, telling the government to increase the minimum wage from 30,000 to 200,000, I don't think it's something that is very possible in Nigeria.
But
if it ever happened, that means we are good. Nigeria is a good place.
Okay.
I don't think. Do you know what it means to increase 30,000 to 200,000?
But what do you think?
Like,
do you think they are asking for too much?
170,000. It's not that. Is they right? They're not asking for too much because this subsidy they increased, they removed. This subsidy they removed, which leads to the increase, the hiking of everything going up, and the increase of both petrol. Imagine I bought for 1 liter. 1 liter of fuel now is
500?
510. Is it 520?
My God.
Something that I normally, if I want to buy, I'll buy something like 1,000 and it will be 5 liters. But I'm buying 1,140 and it's 1,140, and that's like just 2 liters. Something that at least 5 liters, 1,000 is enough. You understand?
Okay.
So if you look at it, you see that, yeah, when they made that statement, when they removed subsidy, they didn't really put things in place, especially when it comes to minimum wages. Because just imagine someone that has family to take care of, things to do, food, clothing, and you're paying the person 30,000 naira. Is very small for the person to.
What is he supposed to achieve with it? Exactly.
It's too small.
He has to pay his house rent.
House rent.
He has to feed.
Just 30,000.
He has to still save from that money.
Save from the money. School fees. And you know now everything is on the increase. Both school fees, both feeding now. One bag of rice is about 60,000. And
has it gotten to 60K now?
It is. And you're saying that you remove subsidy. I feel the government, they should do better. They didn't do much, because how can you remove subsidy without putting some necessary things in place?
To ensure that
we have
the masses don't really feel the impact that much.
Exactly. We have refineries. Yeah, even
I mean, it's not like we're saying the subsidy removal is totally wrong, but
it's not wrong, because
at least it will save us a lot of money. The trillions and billions they use in subsidizing this, for at least that money can be used for something better now.
Exactly.
But I think the real question now is, will that money be used for the purpose, for the right purpose?
Exactly, to complete. If they can, okay, instead of paying that money, instead of using that money now, it's better they use it to complete our refineries. We have refineries in Port Harcourt, in Delta, Warri refinery.
I think the Dangote refinery now has come on board.
Everybody just talking about Dangote refinery. This is a private establishment. It's not a government this thing. And the purpose of him putting it there is for him to monetize it, like to make more money.
Okay.
It's not just for charity organization or
anything. He's a businessman now.
He's a businessman. And do you know how much he will be charging? Though it will be quite little, but if you look at it, it will make it them putting it only him. Because he's the only person that has refinery. That means no market forces around him.
There's no competition.
No competition. So he can put it anyhow, any price he wants.
He says 1,000, you buy 1,000.
Whether you like it or not, it's none of his business. He is making his money.
And you know what I'm predicting? By the time the refinery begins to work, and then begins to refine these raw materials, I bet you this fuel will reduce to 300 naira, and then we'll celebrate both him and the government.
It's possible.
I'm just predicting it. The time will come when fuel will be sold for 300 naira, and then we'll be celebrating Dangote and then the government.
But this is not something that was supposed to happen. Do you know there was a time that fuel was even 75 naira?
Yep.
Like, I don't understand. How do we get here?
Back in the days.
Like, how do we get here? You understand? So if you look at it, you see that them, I'm not saying that them demanding for that is not something, it's not as if it's much. It's their right. It's okay for someone, for them to, if it's possible for them to, for the government to agree to make that minimum wages to be 200K. It's okay. That means Nigeria is a better place. Do you know what it means? Like minimum something from 30,000 to 200,000. That's 200,000 that we are talking about here.
I don't know why I'm laughing, because it's not really a funny thing to say.
That means people that are earning, the lecturers, the professors that are earning 200,000, 250, now their own should be 500 or so. That means Nigeria is a good place. If that's been the case, we don't have issue. But I feel, within me, I strongly believe that government will never agree to that. It's not possible. If they ever
so
agree,
you know your
that
country,
means,
eh?
I know my country. I know it like I know myself. If they ever agree to it, that means we are good. What are we talking about?
That means now Nigeria has really changed for good.
Exactly. What are we talking about?
Thank you so much, Kusi, for your thoughts. I really do appreciate it. We'll go on a break right now, and when we return, we'll take our last video for the day, and then we'll call it a day. Please stay tuned.
Hey there! Are you looking to record your videos, do your voiceovers, and take your professional pictures? Look no further. With our state-of-the-art newsroom, photography, kitchen for our food content creators, and exclusive children's studio, we certainly can deliver the best studio experience. Our carefully designed studio space can bring your diverse creative content ideas to life. We aim to consistently serve value to our customers far and wide. Come, let Tharv Media give life to your dreams. Tharv Media, a slice of infotainment.
Yes, you're welcome back from that short break, and still on the newspaper review. We shall be looking at the Daily Sun newspaper now as our last paper for the day. This one here on page 6 says subsidy removal. NLC, TUC suspend strike to resume talks on June 19. Federal government, Labour Joint Committee to review minimum wage. Okay, details of this headline is on page 6 in the Daily Sun newspaper. And on page 8, this one says Senate presidency. Support swells for Kalu Yari as more senators elect join camp. Senate presidency support swells for Kalu Yari as more senators elect join camp. That's on page 8 of the Daily Sun newspaper. On page 4, this one says court finds Keyamo 10 million naira for filing a frivolous suit against Atiku. Court finds Keyamo 10 million naira for filing frivolous suit against Atiku. That story is on page 4 of the Daily Sun newspaper. On page 2, this one says Nigeria's debt stock to hit 70 trillion naira by end of 2023. Nigeria's debt stock to hit 70 trillion naira by end of 2023. That story is on page 2 of Daily Sun. On page 6 now, this one says World Environment Day. Adeleke approves the creation of Osun Climate Action Plan. World Environment Day. Adeleke approves creation of Osun Climate Action Plan. That's on page 6 of Daily Sun. On page 4, this one says Tinubu Anti-Terrorism Center. Tinubu at Anti-Terrorism Center, Task Security Intelligence Agency. Tinubu at Anti-Terrorism Center, Task Security Intelligence Agency. That's on page 4 of Daily Sun newspaper. And on page 8 now, this one says there must be transparent elections for selecting NAS leaders. There must be transparent elections for selecting NAS leaders. That's according to PLAC on page 8 of the Daily Sun newspaper. On page 8 and 26 now, we have a shocking revelation at Presidential Election Tribunal. Shocking revelation at Presidential Election Tribunal. Tinubu APC's agents truncate uploading of results in Rivers. That's according to PDP witness. Another subheading here says, I signed a results sheet for Nasarawa State under duress, says another. Obi Labour Party tender more INEC results in 8 states. Catch all the details of this headline here on page 8 and page 26 of Daily Sun newspaper. And lastly, in Daily Sun for today, we have on page 26, this one says, activities pick up in Enugu as Mba monitors no sit at home order. Activities pick up in Enugu as Mba monitors no sit at home order. IPOB, MASOB, back governors say Kanu's freedom panacea to peace. That's that's on page 26 of Daily Sun newspaper. Okay, that's the much you can take in Daily Sun for today. Uwobodo Kosi. Please, I think I've been skipping this headline in the previous paper, but I can't skip it anymore. I'd like to get your thoughts on the headline here on page 4 of Daily Sun that talks about Keyamo being fined 10 million for filing frivolous lawsuits against Atiku. How do you react to this?
It's quite a funny one.
Yeah, it's a funny one.
It's quite a very funny one. It's just like you wanted the government to punish someone, and
and then the reverse was the case.
The reverse was the case.
Those days when we were much younger, if you go to report your colleague for doing something to you to the other person, and then you're expecting the other person to let me say beat the person for your sake, and then he beats you instead, what you get is an Ella. They tell you Ella. So in this case, Keyamo got an Ella.
Like when I mean Kama, this is where Kama played.
So Keyamo got an elastic.
So to me, I feel it's Kama because and also I feel that Keyamo he is pointing at someone. It's just like Keto calling pot black. You understand? Because he was the past federal minister of state for labor and employment. What did he do? Nothing. Even before he entered, at least Nigerian unemployment rate was much better. Even at its worst, it was much better because it was before he entered. Nigerian unemployment rate was 23 points. No, it was 23 points. Because he entered 2019, he entered the government as the minister for state of as the federal minister of state for labor and employment. But the following year, after he entered, that was 2020, the first quarter of 2020, it was that bad. That unemployment increased from 23 to 33%, which is very like the highest it has ever been. You understand? So him saying that he filed a court complaint against Atiku, saying that he's using SPV vehicles to enrich himself during the time he was the vice president, during Obasanjo's time regime. But if you look at it, you see that him, that was the former minister for state and for minister of state for employment and labor, he didn't do much. He should come out and openly tell us what he did with government money. Nothing. The only thing
before pointing fingers.
You understand? He should take. I think it's a well-deserved punishment issued to him. It's well deserved because how can you, after you pointing finger at someone, whereas during your own tenure you didn't do anything? He's so ungrateful to me. You understand? And if you look at it, yes, after the whole lawsuit, he said he's going to file a court. He's going to file for appeal court against the judgment made against him. I feel if appeal courts should look at it, they might even fine him under 10 million.
So he should just rest.
He should just rest. And at least they even gave him the mercy of paying it per annum. You understand? Okay. Like 10% every year. That's 1 million every year. It's a fair judgment to me. I feel it's a fair judgment.
So you're saying he deserves it?
He deserves it. Like a well-deserved punishment. That's it.
I pray you don't meet Keyamo on your way out of here now.
Not possible.
And then he say I deserve it, right?
No, it's not about it. He is a lawyer, for crying out loud. He should behave like one. A lawyer. He should behave like one. it's just like you a lawyer, so even if you are pointing fingers at someone, you should bring a concrete evidence for it. You can't just open your mouth to her. And that's why even the court said, even the prosecutor said, the defendant, I mean the lawyer to Atiku, said that it was just his body, because if he had concentrated in looking forward to, in organizing employment rate, increasing employment rate and all that, working, he wouldn't even have the time to be thinking about others. You understand? So I feel, assuming he has something to do, he wouldn't have been thinking of telling the DSS to go and arrest, prosecute, investigate Atiku.
Okay.
You understand? So I feel it's not really like.
So you're saying the judgment passed on Keyamo is well deserved?
It's well deserved.
All right.
Sorry, I know. Though I have nothing against Keyamo. He's a nice man. He's a good person. But I feel he didn't, even as the minister for this thing, labor and employment, he didn't do much.
Okay. Thank you so much, Kosi, for your time with me on the program today. I really appreciate you. And thank you to you, my wonderful viewers who have been faithful to your screen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Because without you, this program won't be possible. Please, if you're yet to subscribe to this channel, make sure you do so. And of course, follow us on our different social media platforms, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok. We are all on all the social media platforms. On Facebook, you can go to TAP TV. On Instagram, TAPTV_NG. On Twitter and the rest, we have TAP TV. Okay, Cyril Aloysius is my name once again. And until we come your way again next time, enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now, and thanks for watching.